Today's video is about beach life in Norway. We have been to many beaches in Australia, Asia and South of Europe, and we think that the Norwegian way of going to the beach is quite different. It's end of June and it's quite refreshing. I think it's maybe 20 degrees Celsius. Some of you might think, do they really go to the beach in Norway? And yes, we do. And most of you will also know that Norway is in the north and it's not something we do a lot, and at least not during winter. So this is a summer thing, and sometimes the summer is very short. So the point here is, the first point of this video is that Norwegians, when it's finally summer, then a lot of Norwegians go to the beach. And then they don't know if they will come back that year, because maybe that was it. So you have a few very good summer days usually, and then you need to spend them wisely. So that's like, it's almost a happening, at least the first time you're on the beach during the summer. Then you bring all your things and then you will have a fantastic beach day.
Maybe you are wondering how Norwegian beaches look like, and we have been in Thailand and Australia and South Europe, and the beaches there are quite white with a lot of sand, a lot of people, a lot of sunbaths, so it's way different at Norwegian beaches.
Yeah, and if you are in South of Europe, usually at the tourist places in Spain, Greece, for example, and if you go to Phuket, where we went, then it's just a lot of tourists and a lot of sunbeds and not a lot of space. And in Australia, it was usually a lot of very big beaches, and it's the ocean with very big waves. So you have a lot of space and it's very nice looking beaches, perfect sand and everything. So that's also different. Here in Norway, a lot of beaches is in the fjords, and then you have calm water, usually quite calm. So it's a different feeling being near the water in the Norwegian fjord, at least.
I agree that no waves, that's a very big plus when we think about bathing and safety.
Because we had a problem actually in Australia that it was sometimes felt a bit too unsafe for a small child, because it was really rough waves usually. So it's easier to have a kid nearby the water when there's no waves. Today's example is from a beach nearby. It's called Røra. And this is a small beach that I have a lot of memories from I was a child, because my grandparents lived nearby that beach. So I have actually, most of my childhood I've been to Norway visiting the family there, and because I came from Denmark, and every summer I came to Norway and we went to this beach. So that's one of the reasons why we sometimes go there, and also the reason why I have that as an example in this video. And I think it's a very typical way of having a beach in Norway, because for example, you have a kiosk, and that is something a lot of Norwegians want to have, especially because of that sausage in the bun and a waffle and ice cream.
Of course.
And if you have a good day, especially Saturday, Sunday, and it's nice weather, then people love to go to the kiosk and buy something. And the kids have to have an ice cream then. So that's something you have on that beach.
I can say that it has its charm. It's at that beach, I think it's a family who's running this kiosk, and sometimes they're making that waffles and you can see what they are doing. It's like very friendly atmosphere. So it has its charm.
Yeah, there's a dog with clothes on, a small dog there. And they also rent out the rest of the house there for weddings and stuff. It's a big charm. I said to Magda that we should get married there actually, because it was so like back to family roots, and a really nice place.
Yeah.
Old house. And about the temperature in Norway, you are usually in May. A lot of people go to the first swim.
Many people do it 1st of May.
Yeah, so it's like 15 degrees, 16. I'm not in the water at least before it's 18, 19. But it's normal in Norway to have a swim at least when it's 18 degrees. And you are really happy if the summer brings you like 22, 23 degrees, that's not, then it's like really amazing.
Yeah.
But it is usually a bit of a cold experience that you most of the times get under the water and then you get quickly up again.
You can call it refreshing, but yes, I don't manage to bath in 19 degrees. I think last year I bathed one time. It was still too cold, but you have to bath at least one time.
When you think about Norway, you maybe think it's clean water, it's sky blue, and everything is just like a heaven. But in the fjords, it can be a bit kind of different, not so good experiences. We have one beach where it's not salt water anymore because it's so far into the fjord, and then it's not nice looking sand. And the beach where we have the example, then you have a bit more grainy sand. And some stones. You can't just run out in the water because then you will lose your toe. And there's also some mussels coming in now from the ocean that you can cut really bad your feet. So you should sometimes, at least the kids should have shoes on actually on that beach. So it's not the most fantastic water or sand, but that's not the point. It's if there's sand, great, and then Norwegians also love sitting on the grass. Many of them, because Norwegians are not that very happy about sand, and they would more. Most Norwegians, I think, would more likely be on the mountain. I always find that very hard, but they feel it is more clean and maybe it's better for the back. I don't know, but they like to lie on a bit of a stony place nearby the beach and maybe jump out in the water instead of walking out in the water. So, but I'm Danish, so I am always happy about the beaches, and so I like to sit in the sand and walk out.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of sun. I was probably when I was a kid, of course, because it was fun. Now it's just annoying to take it off. But yeah,
it's easy when you have a kid and they can play in the sand also. So if you have small kids, then it's easier to sit in the sand.
But I would prefer to have sand than some muddy area around me.
Of course. When you go to the beach and it's a beautiful day and it's weekend and it's summer, then a lot of people, most people, they pack a lot. They fill up the car with a lot of things just in case they need it. They have chairs, they have a place to sit in the sand or the grass, and they have a lot of different kinds of food, fruits, coffee, things for the kids, things to play with, some different stuff, frisbee, a ball. And then you also have a thing that you haven't heard of. Me and my daughter, we came up with an idea is to go to the supermarket before the next time and buy some raw shrimps. And you can freeze them, maybe you can buy them frozen, and then they can be in the bag frozen, and then they get warm during the ride. And then you can use that to fish crabs.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it's the best way to get a crab is to have a shrimp, and then it's a very popular thing for kids and also for me. It's very funny. You lie there and then you watch a crab bite on that shrimp, and then you try to get it up and put it in the bucket.
Yeah.
And then you let them out again when you're finished, and then someone else take them up. The crabs, they have a lot of fun.
Sure.
Because they get into a lot of buckets during the day.
Maybe they are able to eat that shrimp at least.
They get a bit of food every time, so maybe that's worth it. I don't know. So that's a fun thing that is very Norwegian. I'm sure it's Scandinavian or North of Europe. I have no idea. Please comment if you think it's very normal in Sweden, Poland, England.
Oh no, in Poland.
I don't know. But in Australia, I would not do it because then maybe you will get a croc or a shark or something else that will kill you when you bring it up. I don't know. But that's some different things about the Norwegian beach. And we would really like you to tell us if you have something similar where you live. And I would like to hear Norwegians if you disagree what we say here. And so this is just our experience from what we do in Porsgrunn. And we know that it's not something everybody in Porsgrunn is doing. But it's a lot of people that do it like we do it here.
Yeah.
So we will do, we hope to get some weeks with sun in Norway, so this was not the first and last time. And the next video we will show you is from a small village kind of town from like 5 kilometers from here, maybe 10 kilometers.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful, very small little place that we will show you next time. That is a very typical Norwegian place also to go to, and of course eat some ice cream.